there for 12 months. He was one of the top 3 civilians that was there in country over the last year. And they've made significant changes since Petraeus got there and since Ambassador Crocker got there. And I think we're going in the right direction. But we've got to stay the course, and we have to make sure that we provide stability for that country to be able to provide security for themselves.
So go to the guys who've been there. Mike, you've been there twice. Tell me, is it time to withdraw? Do we need to have a measured withdrawal, a timetable for withdrawal? Do we keep doing the same thing? Or what are you going to vote for as Congressman?
Well, I think an expeditious withdrawal from Iraq, irrespective of the conditions on the ground, is certainly not in the interest of the Iraqi people, stability within the region, or within our national strategic interest. What I would bring to the table on Iraq is, having worked outside the wire with the Iraqi people on their political process, that we need to take into account their political culture and what is going to work for them, and not merely trying to replicate our own system of government upon them. And I think when we do that, we can slim down the benchmarks, we can move this political process forward faster to the end state of having a central government with enough stability that when we withdraw, Iraq won't dissolve into a failed state.
Be more precise, though. When you say a different governmental system, are you saying that the Constitution should be thrown away? Perhaps
no,
we
I don't think
someone?
The direction of the administration today is through the decentralization of power in Iraq, into establishing more, devolving more power to the regions and the provinces. I think the danger and my fear of that is, not only will that be a lengthy process, but that it will also, at the end of the day, I mean, I worked with the Sunni Arabs primarily in Iraq. The oil is to the north in the Kurdish areas, to the south in the Shia areas. Their greatest concern, their greatest fear, is that the provinces will see the oil resource not as a national resource, but as their own resource. And without an oil subsidy at this point in time, and I hope that we can move them along in a free market system, but without that oil subsidy, they will be one of the most impoverished areas on the face of the earth. They don't have the agriculture, they don't have the economy to sustain that population. It will be a hotbed for terrorism, basically Al-Qaeda controlled area. It will be Afghanistan pre-9/11.
Bring it over here. You also spent time there. What's different? And for the people who are looking to choose between the 4 of you, what's different about you on the issue of Iraq?
Many things, John, many things. First of all, war is the continuation of politics by other means. When a country goes to war, it has to have political objectives. So the objectives are set by the politicians, not by the generals on the ground. And the other thing that you'll learn in War College is that when a nation goes to war, you bring all elements of national power to the fight. We've done a very good job of bringing troops to the fight on the ground in Iraq. But we haven't done a good job of engaging the other elements of national power here to work in Iraq. I think specifically of the State Department, and it was just in the media just a few weeks ago that the State Department is finally telling its Foreign Service officers that they have to step up and do a tour in Iraq, because to date it hasn't been career enhancing, and as a result we've gotten at best probably the 3rd string of Foreign Service officers in Iraq. But Mike, we're not trying to recreate a system in Iraq that looks anything like what we have here. We're trying to create a decentralized system of 3 groups, not 50 states, not a municipal, county, state, federal system like we have here. It's nothing like what we have here. But we do need to recognize that Iraq is an oil power. All its revenue is centralized. So you need a strong central government, and you need things like provincial powers and a national oil law, so that revenue can be shared among the provinces, and those provinces then have some ability to govern themselves.
Let me toss this out. Would anyone here agree with some sort of phased withdrawal that actually has a hard time?
It's the wrong question, John. It's the wrong question.
What's the right question?
The question is, what do we want Iraq to look like? What's the end state that we're looking for? What's the picture on the box? Because
but right now there's a good chance that with a President Obama, or even a Democratic control in House and Senate, there's been talk of a phased withdrawal and a time certain. So let's just
he won't do it.
Do we all agree
Hillary
here?
or Obama will not do it.
Tell me why.
Well, I think it's very dangerous.
They can't. All of their advisors are now saying it's in our national interest. We are making headways. You know, MoveOn.org and everybody can say we need to get out of Iraq, but all of the adults that are on the ground making the decisions, are, even for Obama and Hillary, are saying we cannot leave. We are making headway. The God bless the troops. They are making headway, and we will be victorious in this. But it will not happen overnight, and Obama's not going to pull us out.
John McCain is saying that as well, and again, I think that this issue gets way too politicized in Congress. I mean, I think that's part of the problem. You know, unfortunately, you know, Congress it's a political football. Congress's job needs to be to see oversight on it, make sure that the dollars are well spent, make sure that our troops are funded well on the ground. I mean that's what they ought to be doing. And I think that you know, the plan that you know, I referenced back to you, Steve, was the president's plan. He's got, I think it's 18 points, and I do think that there's a picture on the box to your point as to what the plan is.
Mike.
You know, well, I think that I can't imagine that they would, in fact, do that, but I believe that they probably would. I wish I had the confidence that Ted had. You know, in the liberal Democrats that may very well assume the White, I certainly hope not, to take the White House. They're already certainly dominating in the Congress, and we have to remember that after we had successfully completed Vietnamization in Vietnam, commencing in August of 1969 and then going through the early 70s, that after the 1974 election, when there was a Democrat sweep in the Congress of the United States, that they cut off all aid, including ammunition and fuel, to the South Vietnamese government, and they subsequently fell in 1975. So I don't put it past a Democrat-controlled Congress to try and make the same moves on Iraq. And I think and quite frankly, Steve would have the credibility, having served in Iraq, I think, to speak out on that issue. And I think it's important that our voices be heard.
And you also have to look, John, at what the impact is on the region, and then what the impact is on the United States globally if we were to pull out precipitously or in the short term. The likelihood of regional instability, especially with regard to the Kurds, is quite high. And the impact to the United States, because I think if we pull out prematurely, then we lose much of our moral authority as the world's sole superpower. And like Saigon in 1975, when we allowed Saigon to fall in 1975, the world still only had two options. Today, it will have other options.
Give me that. Gentlemen, hold your places. This conversation continues online at independenceinstitute.org. We'll take on the economy, we'll take on energy, and a few personal questions as well. Go to independenceinstitute.org to listen and watch the second half of this debate. And thank you for watching Independent Thinking. Tell a friend. We'll see you next week.
You jibber jab, bamboozle, nuka, noozle, bippity bop, she-call. You jibber jab, bamboozle, nuka, noozle, bippity bop, she-call. I mean, you keep on talking, but you don't know where to turn it off.